Look, it is important. I mean, the work of the law enforcement officers immediately following a motor vehicle accident is absolutely critical. Apart from just securing the scene and trying to assure that there won't be any consequential accidents to the accident which has already occurred, there's data and there's information and there's recordings and there's statements and all sorts of things that have to be recorded by the law enforcement officers. For example, where could the accident possibly have occurred? That they should try to identify that on the roadway. They should also record through proper measurements and even good photography where the vehicles actually came to a standstill, and that's important for the record. It's also important for their diagrams and for their sketch plans. In many cases where people do not die as a result of accidents, this work is not done comprehensively. And that's not really beneficial in the big picture. I mean, the total fatalities are high, but the amount of people that are injured and damage to property is so much greater. So yes, we do have scarce resources, and so they'll try to obviously apply that. But these are the kind of things that are important for many reasons, including the collection of statistics and data, which is obviously what the minister made.
Right, what a pity. It looks
reference to, and they measure based on statistics.
All right, it looks like we lost you for a moment there, but hopefully the line will bear with us. So in the absence of witnesses and the absence of any survivors at an accident, Darrel, how do we eventually get to a point that the accident was actually caused by human error? Because human error, to some people, might be quite an elusive concept that almost seems like a destination you arrive at in the absence of any other sign that this might have been a mechanical issue that led to the accident.
Yes, so probably one of the easier things to check for is intoxication. You can normally smell somebody if they've been drinking, and you can test for that essentially on the spot, and then do a more comprehensive test later within a certain period of time. Now, other reasons for accidents occurring would probably arise from statements that people are making on the scene. They'll tell you what happened. To check whether in fact brakes and this sort of thing were working properly is a timely process. If there were mechanical problems, that's not always obvious on the scene. But certainly statements are important, and that's the first clue.
I'm interested to find out how often we actually do get to know what led to an accident, typically speaking. Would it strike you as strange, for instance, if investigators simply said, well, this is an accident that's taken place and we simply cannot tell how it happened?
Yeah, look, this, it's not always so obvious how things happened. I mean, if a car's on the wrong side of the road, that's obvious. In intersections where there's traffic signals and even arrows indicating left and right for motorists, it becomes more tricky because the one will say it was green for him and the light was flashing. The other one may say exactly the same. So that becomes a bit challenging. But a lot of our accidents do happen on straight roads. You're either on the right side of the road or you're on the wrong side of the road. Yes, accidents do happen on the center line. But where vehicles come to a final rest is a telltale sign as to where that vehicle was traveling immediately before the accident. Looking and analyzing and reconstructing accidents, that's quite an important part of the work we do.
Well, that's all the time we have, sadly, for this incredibly important conversation. Thanks very much for your time, nonetheless, and for sharing with us what you know. Darrel Strydom is an accident reconstruction expert at JP Strydom Accident Consultants. And this, of course, coming just moments after we've learned of the latest accident on the N3 near Pietermaritzburg